Hello and welcome to my new video. In this video we will make full rebuild of this loading head from the Noritsu V50 series. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know that we're trying to refurbish the old Noritsu V50, and this is a mechanical loading section of the film. And in this video I will explain how the loading of the film works in the roll-to-roll machine, basically dry-to-dry automatic developer in the film lab. It's the beginning of the series, and in this series we will show a lot of different stuff, how the machine works, what is the current state of the industry of these machines, and also I will make a lot of modifications and also probably a lot of repairs for this machine. I will start with the disassembly. It's quite simple, and I will explain how thing works with the building it up. First of all, what you need to understand that this tool is industrial tool. It means that it's quite easy to understand how it works, and most of the parts in this head built with the M4 screws, and you don't really need a lot of complication tools, you just need to understand what you do. This head have two actuators, and this is a geared servo motors for 24 volts from each side, so you can load two rolls of fill simultaneously. So it's metal frame, and also it has some plastic parts, and depends on the quality of the tool what you have in the lab, and also on the condition. Some of the parts can be old and cracked, and this head what I have on my table is in quite good condition. But as always with the old tools, you need to rebuild it anyway, just to see in case, and remove the old grease and re-grease everything as new, and remove some rust from the boards and clean up the boards from the dust. The first part what we will do, we will remove all the electronics from the mechanics and we will inspect it separately. And also I don't really want to clean everything in the same way. So electronics here is quite expensive, as you probably understand, just because it's rare, and especially it's rare in the good conditions. I think most of the people who own the film lab know the struggle and probably never saw the good condition like you have here on the screen, and can ask like why I even rebuild this one. The main idea from my side is to understand the full mechanics and actually learn the ability to fix this type of tools. And for example, if you look on this cutter and this mechanism which actually removing the film from the canister, this is usually main reason why the people try to service it, try to rebuild it, and this is one of the things which is fails first. And simple answer for that, it's one of the things which is actually moving there, and it requires maintenance and require grease. And rest of the thing is the mechanical switches, plastic parts and rollers made from plastic. Because these tools was made for the industry and for the service guys, they not really complicated, they actually looks quite rude, so it's made from the bended metal, from some plastic, and it's quite easy to disassemble, quite easy to fix, quite easy to replace rollers, and if you have a service manual you can easily understand how the things go. And in general, service manual for this thing is one of the best what I saw, because it's a mass-produced tool and it's from Japan. Before you remove everything, if you have a bad memory, it's much better to look in the manual and see how things assembled back together. First of all, it has some small plastic washers and they should be placed back in the same exact way. And secondly, you can actually take a look and understand how to disassemble it and assemble it, and what is the modules inside this head. From the first glance on the screen here, you can see that it's quite complicated thing, a lot of things get disassembled, you don't really understand where is what, but I will disassemble it completely and we will start rebuild it and reloop everything, and I will put some schemes from the manual and you will understand how it works. And in the next videos on this channel I will show you how we actually clean up the whole tool and make the new chemistry and test electronics, and also install this head and replace some parts from the old head to this one and make almost perfect loading section from the Noritsu V50. So now I have everything more or less disassembled on my table, and I will start from cleaning and replacing some parts and inspecting if I have problems with the mechanics and if some parts completely broken or missing. So far it looks like nobody was before me here in this head, and it looks more or less pristine. And downside of that, it's only that it was on a shelf probably somewhere for some unknown amount of years. So let's start rebuilding it from the bottom side. So here on the picture you can see the two rollers, and this is a main shaft with the two rubber rollers which is picking up your film and advancing film with the leader inside your machine. Because it's roll-to-roll machine, these rollers basically pushing against your film and pulling it inside, and film goes in the path of the each chemicals for known period of time. So this shaft is directly connected to the main drive, and this is an assembly which connecting these two parts together. You have several gears which is connecting the main drive of the machine to the rollers and basically have the same speed of the rollers to the main shaft. In principle, you don't really need anything here, and because it's a plastic on plastic, you just need a small amount of the lubricant which will protect everything from corrosion and also have a little bit more smooth action. Also be careful when you assemble it, you can definitely see that the black gear is two different sizes. And you can place it in opposite way and it will not really rotate freely. This is quite important to install it properly, so check it after you make the rotations, and it should be a little bit loose and rotate freely. So the next section is the bottom side, and it's two rollers on the actuators. And this is a second section of the actuators. You have two rollers on a special kind of a suspended carriage with two wheels which will push against these big rubber rollers which we just assembled. Usually because it's in the bottom side of the machine and nobody sees it if you don't disassemble it, it's a pile of rust and dirt and everything like VD40 from the previous owners of the machine trying to fix it. These actuators also can be rusty, they can completely be stuck and seized, and you cannot really do with them anything in this case, but sometimes you can just make them alive again if you remove the rust and if you lubricate everything a little bit. Most of the time, as you understand, this all gearing should work in dry conditions, they should be serviced, and these wheels on the suspension basically pressing against the main roller. You can see it here that the two actuators actually just pushing against the main drive. When you close the lid and press start, it will load it, and it means these two actuators move up and press against the rollers. And if your door is closed and locked, it will process the film and pull it inside. And now it's assembly of the cutter itself, and this is one of the problematic ones. And how it works is quite simple. So you have a trigger mechanism on the left side with a black carriage, and to remove it you have a rubber bumper underneath, so you need to rotate it or unscrew it completely, and after that you can remove this plastic part. Because it's quite dangerous mechanism, first thing what you need to do, you need to remove the blade, which is extremely sharp, and you starting with a cover. And on the right side you have one bolt and two bolts as a pair, and one side is longer than pair of bolts. Inspect your blade, in my case it's almost perfect, and most of the time these blades looks completely ugly and you need to resharpen them. And on the second head, what I have already installed in the tool, I have a horrible knives. They probably don't really cut anything anymore because they have a chips, and you can sharpen it up, but you basically need to resharp everything. So I removed all the parts, and let's inspect the surface. First of all, it's metal parts, nothing special there. You don't need to really disassemble everything. You just need to remove the old dirt and gunk from the parts, and this is two small metal parts with a small contact points. You need to apply some kind of a thick grease there, which will not evaporate and not removed from these surfaces. And definitely don't use any kind of a motor oil or anything, so here it should be thick grease and not oil. So if you're trying to re-lube it with a VD40 or something, it's extremely bad idea, and I will show you later why. In general, people trying to just, flush everything with a VW40 or something like that, but this whole tool doesn't really require a lot of the grease anywhere, and it's only small contact points in the small parts. Here I also resurfaced the blades, that they fresh, doesn't really have any chips, and I also polished the edge, and now it's almost perfect condition. And this is really dangerous blade, and be careful with that, so it can cut your finger even if you just touch it, and not even talking about this kind of a guillotine mechanism. So first thing, don't forget to remove the spring, and before you test it, definitely watch your fingers and know what you're doing, because literally this is kind of a dangerous thing. And as you can see here, this is literally how it works. So you have a film which is advancing front, and you have this pedal, and if the canister starts pushing on this pedal, at some point the blade just snaps off. And here this whole assembly mounts on the right side, and you can see that our actuator motor with the gearing is only one thing, which is returning this one. In the service manual for this motor, it's usually said that it requires some time, and if motor have not enough torque, not enough power, or grease is completely seized inside, you will have error on the cutter, on the motor, and you will have a lot of problems with the loading. I want to prevent it also in future and have nothing worry about this head for next 10-20 years of use. So I remove all the old grease and apply the new grease inside the gearbox on the motors and test everything with the 24 volts. It works perfectly fine. I have really great mechanical actuation, so it's cutting pretty well and also moving back and forward. And I need to do exactly the same on the left assembly, and all the things works perfectly, and eccentric works. And connected to the eccentric you have a small metal flag. You should actually watch if this metal flag glows inside this limit switches, which is optical. And as I said, do not use WD-40 here because it's evaporating lubricant, and most of the time it's actually covering with a thick film and grease and all type of things, these detectors. So if detector doesn't really sense that the motor is rotating, nothing will happen and the machine will basically not trigger your motor. And as you also probably understand, you have top parts, plastic parts, and you don't really need to lubricate anything there. Just clean it up with the isopropyl alcohol and be safe with the all parts put it back together with a proper type of the spacers. On top carriage you have additional rollers, and these rollers also quite simply installed on top, so you have nothing special there. It's just assembly that preventing the whole thing flopping around inside the loader section, and also basically giving the straight path to the leader, to the film. And as a last step, let's start assembling electronics. And this is usually one of the kind of a trickiest thing, because cables can be abused, and I already can see few problems with these cables. Nevertheless, this head have really great mechanical conditions. First of all, because these parts usually lay down somewhere in the boxes or something like that, and it has a lot of sharp corners and a lot of sharp things. And if you slam it against something, for example, just put it on the floor incorrectly, you will cut the insulation on the cables. And as you can see here, I need to repair some stuff, so much easier to just desolder some wires and replace some broken insulation on wires and test everything for continuity. And after that, you should be basically good to go. Also check the pin connectors if the pin looks fine and if nobody basically pushed the pins from the connector, and if it's not rusty or if it's not broken. And in my case, for example, I have completely broken wires which I need to replace, because unfortunately I don't really have this type of connectors on hand. So I just cut the wire and reglue them together with the soldering and insulation on top with a heat shrink. It's not the best way to repair, but it's acceptable in this case because it doesn't really have a lot of vibrations and a lot of different stuff going on in these cables. So let's see how it will look and work from the opposite side. So what we need to install here is our backplate, and we also need to protect all the cables. I was trying to replace all the old and crusty zip ties because they get fragile, so basically they don't really hold anything anymore. It's quite long procedure, but now this is a fully refurbished hat and it's almost better than the new one. So if you like this type of content, support my channel on a coffee and see you under the safe light.